Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, a podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jake Twito.
Yeah, man. Toot, toot, beep, beep. Give me the keys to that Jeep.
Toot, toot, beep, beep. Save
that and clip it. There we go, baby. Leave that in. Talking creator.
Hard. The creator.
Man, this movie was so much different and better than I thought it was going to be.
It's awesome, dude.
It's nowhere near what I thought it was going to be.
What do you think it's going to be?
I thought it was going to be a lot more like just, what's that boy's name? Joshua. Just Joshua, like, hunting people down.
Yeah,
I thought the movie was going to be, he's trying to go kill all the androids, and then something happens. I thought it was going to be like a District
9 situation.
I say 18. District 9 situation where something happens, and then all of a sudden he's part that way. But no, I was shocked. I was really blown away with this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a basic lone wolf and cub plot of he's trying to get this child somewhere, but it's done. Gareth Edwards is like one of my favorite directors around.
I love him, man.
He made this movie on the cheap.
I was gonna say, like, dude, he made this for $80 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a joke. I watched of course, Corridor Crew.
Mm-hmm.
Has great VFX breakdowns, but I can't remember if it was there or if it was another interview I saw from them. They didn't build sets for this. And because they had such cheap cameras, it was cheaper to fly the entire crew to real places. That's how I thought that's how a movie should be, man. I mean, I know you need sound stages and stuff sometimes, but daggum, how cool is that? I feel like you feel that too.
And like this. They replaced a lot of people as robots without suits and dots, and they got to pick and choose who could be a robot and who couldn't. So like they were in
Corridor Crew video is worth watching. That was mind blowing.
I'm gonna link it to this episode, but it's awesome.
I love the guy. I think his quote was like, "ILM should not have done this."
Oh yeah, he said that several times. He's like, no VFX house should have taken this job because there's like 2,600 VFX shots
and like uncharted territory doing it too. So it's like, oh,
but you got ILM to do it, and
I think it makes such a big difference in this movie. You filmed the movie, you filmed everything, and then worried about VFX. It's like you actually cared about the other parts. Even the VFX honestly make up like a...
Before you went and shot, you had an exact idea of how you wanted like the robots and the androids to look.
Yeah.
You had that specifically in mind, so that way you could pick and choose who in camera would be a robot and who wouldn't.
Well, what's this movie about before we get too heavy into this? Because I'm just going to steamroll in.
We're just gushing over this movie the first 10 minutes. The story: against the backdrop of war between humans and robots with artificial intelligence, a former soldier finds the secret weapon, a robot in the form of a young child.
See, I didn't read anything, so I didn't know there was a kid.
Mm-hmm. In the trailers, it's heavily like...
I didn't even watch the trailers, though.
Oh, there you go.
I watched the teaser trailer, and it's just him looking cyberpunk, doing something, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's it's like they said on that Corridor Crew episode, this is like if Blade Runner and Apocalypse Now had a baby. This movie.
You haven't watched it. I really... Either here, I don't care if we do it here or not, Akira, the anime. This movie is riddled with that. I mean, like, New Asia, Youth in Revolt, you've got isolation, like people in isolation. You've got creepy kids that, you know, there are so many things. And the guy has to have watched it and taken stuff from it. There's no way.
Yeah.
Even the name of Animoto, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Nirmata.
Nirmata. Nirmata, the creator, like it's legit. Akira, but
Our positive review, Brian Truitt from USA Today. The moving and eye-popping thriller starring a never better John David Washington dives into the hot-button topic of artificial intelligence, but more importantly, mankind's tendency toward war and how we treat those different than us.
yeah, I tried to figure out the whole. I don't. Tell me how you feel about this. Like, I want to watch movies and just watch a movie and like it. I don't want to dig in and go like, what's this really about? What are those the meaning? But also enjoy that too. It's fun.
I like
a movie where I was like, what was this about? And I think that's it. Like,
I think I worry about that, like especially when I watch a movie in the theater for the first time, and I come out and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. It's on a second or third watch where I'm like, okay, what is this about?
yeah. That's fair. And this was my first watch, so that's different for it.
A negative review from the San Francisco Chronicle. If the creator
San Francisco full of poop. Go ahead. Sorry.
if the creator were any more slanted, any more in the tank for the coming AI onslaught, you would think it was produced, written, and directed by AI.
That's funny because the music for this was actually going to be an AI generated music to replicate Hans Zimmer.
Yeah. And what this guy's thinking about AI is not the AI in this movie.
No,
he's coming at it from where we are now, where it's not even AI, it's machine learning. It's not even like thinking for itself.
No.
In the movie, it's about robots who have gained sentience.
They're sentient. Yeah.
And think for themselves.
I dare say they actually have emotion,
yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, all right, I'm going to go and tell you right now, this is probably my favorite robot design I've ever seen.
Oh, it's great.
I loved it. I fell in love. District 8 always holds.
District 9.
I know that's not. I know, District 9. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up so many times. I know that's not robots, but it's the same vibe for me of non-human sentient thing, and like that was always my golden standard of like that. That made me feel for the aliens. This movie, dang dude, those things look cool. It's believable. They never looked out of place. Even the humanoid ones, I never once was like, "Oh, that looks gross."
To bring up the Corridor Crew, probably not for the last time, but it's great world building. Like, world building is not explaining how this thing came to be or that. It's like the shots in the movie of like, one of them was like a shot that they just got while location scouting of a grandmother giving her grandchild a candy bar. And that shot's in the movie, but they replaced the grandmother as a robot. And like just moments like that Gareth Edwards said like a studio would have paid like $100,000 to set up lighting and everything for that shot. And we just got that on location scouting.
I'll go ahead and be the weenie that says like, dude, I shed a tear of like, oh my God, look at that. That's crazy. Like that's so incredible. And I mean, that's Gareth Edwards. Hey, we're going to take these cameras. We're going to run and gun. It's going to be fun.
He's going to do the new Jurassic World movie, and I'm so excited.
I hope it's,
It's the only Jurassic World movie I've been excited about.
Is it a new thing?
I think Chris Pratt's done. It's Mahershala Ali and I think Scarlett Johansson, if I'm not mistaken.
Is Chris Pratt done, you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
With that franchise, at least.
Oh, I was thinking like in general, but
maybe. I don't know. He's probably going to do another Amazon TV show that he did something with.
Yeah, those movies were good, though. But they're okay. They're enjoyable.
It was all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this movie
starts with the like, hey, here's introduction. We have robots, and I absolutely love like the first thought they have to show is robots that are pushing a vacuum. Why can't the robot just be the vacuum? We have a Roomba
because we wanted to have robots just deal with that stuff for us. That's it's kind of commenting on slavery without, that pesky human rights issue.
But the movie, it's so funny. I watched the beginning again. The first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, it's funny. These robots are stupid. Blah. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa. But you look at it, it's like, oh, no, this is how things progress. Now we have these humanoids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the artificial intelligence decided humans suck. We're going to kill LA.
Yeah.
And sadly, I think the nuclear warhead looks awesome.
It does.
But I've also seen Fallout now. And Oppenheimer. Even I still look good.
I mean,
I was like, my notes like it's the year of the H bomb. So that like wipes out LA, and the Western world decides we're gonna kill AI.
Yep, and the only AI left now is in Asia,
New Asia.
Yeah, and then
which
after
is
that,
east, not north.
Right.
I looked it up because I was like, I'm curious, like what? It's got to be Thailand, really. Where this is, but like east, north, east, south.
Well, I think it was like Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
A lot.
Rice paddy Vietnam.
I can't remember where they said they shot 80% of it, but they shot most of Vietnam. It in Asia. Yeah.
Yeah.
We meet our protagonist, John David Washington, whose character's name is
Joshua Taylor. Sergeant Joshua Taylor.
And he and his wife, Gemma Chan, she's pregnant.
He got an afro, by the way. It's awesome.
He's got a great afro. Yeah. Little afro.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
8 out of 10. I don't know.
But they're happy and in love, and then all of a sudden, their little compound gets attacked. The little area they're staying in. Ken Watanabe, I forgot he was in this movie.
I love that man, dude.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be in this movie. Benedict Wong was.
I could see that.
Yeah, Benedict Wong had to drop out from scheduling conflicts, so they did Ken Watanabe, which, man, what a guy, dude.
Yeah,
I love him, man.
I
haven't seen Shogun yet, by the way, so
he's not in that. So
he's not.
No,
I thought he was in it too. I'm not being racist. I legitimately thought he was in it.
He may or may not be. I don't know. But he was in Gareth Edwards' Godzilla movie.
Is that King of the Monsters?
No, that's the first, just Godzilla from 2014.
Okay.
But it's the same Godzilla, but just a different movie.
Oh, dude, I didn't realize he went that far back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he did that before Rogue One. Yeah.
That's right. But you quickly find out that Joshua was a spy.
Yep.
Double agent. Which broke my heart.
Yeah.
They quickly set it up like...
Oh,
again,
look
I didn't
at
know
this
anything about this movie, so I was rooting for him. I'm like, oh, they're about to get bombed. They're about to kill that pregnant woman.
And then that little quick
shoot
switch of and she comes down the stairs hearing him on the radio with... And apparently she knew what he was because she's like, I thought you were out. I thought you were... So that tells me he at least told her that he was at one time.
Yeah. Which her dad is near Armada, so he's got to know
whatever.
No, believed
twist.
to be him. Yeah.
She is an Armada.
Yeah. Dude, you see Nomad though here.
That is fucking sick.
Oh man,
the little boom, 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 boom.
The sounds, the visuals, everything. I was like, dude, this is Tron right here. This is sick.
That first shot where those soldiers are coming out of the ocean is just a little Sony camera that you can go pick up at Best Buy right now.
I think I don't have that camera, but I have my camera I use when I film and shoot what is it? It's I can't remember what it's called. Sorry, but it's the same sensor almost. I was like, oh shoot, I could do that if I had a gimbal. And I'm set. I think movies like that this movie and movies that do stuff like this are so important. Of anybody can make a movie. I guess you can do it. Just I don't know what I'm trying to say here, so let's just keep going. This is Super 8. That movie in a nutshell.
You're not if you want to make something in the backyard, you're not limited.
Yeah,
the internet exists. There's so many resources now that you can just pick up something and start going and figure stuff out from there.
But Nomad blows the hell out of that.
Does it? It must have nuclear weapons on
That's what I had in my notes. I'm like, are these nuclear weapons? I think it's just a
really big
massive
bomb.
explosion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know when bombs get a certain size, they take the quality of that.
Okay.
But daggum, dude, that scene of him getting like blown away past there and then strike to 5 years later, I didn't know he was missing an arm.
Oh yeah, he's missing an arm the whole movie.
There, but yeah, he was always missing an arm and a leg.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
he's waking up to be a. I guess is he a prisoner?
Just clean. No, he's just cleanup crew for like the ground zero of where the atomic bomb was dropped in L.A. Like they're cleaning stuff up still.
Who? Like, so they go clean stuff up. A robot pops up while they're cleaning stuff out. Very quickly, you understand. Oh, he knows what he's doing around these robots. He doesn't kill it. He turns it off.
Just turns it off, which is
turns it off.
Kind of killing
Stand by.
it, but
yeah. So a dude's trying to deal with his past. You get a nice like Blade Runner sequence of, "Are you having dreams still?" This, and it's like, oh, that's great. What a good throwback to that. Who plays the general? General Andrew.
Allison Janney is the colonel. She's the woman on the mission.
Which that's the woman in Hacks, the TV show I watched.
Yeah, she's also on a sitcom called Mom.
She's also in Fargo season 2.
Well, she does a lot.
Everything I'm watching. Yeah, I think she had a like resurgence kind of stuff. That's awesome. She's fantastic, man.
Yeah, she's great.
Her. She's really cool.
Ralph Ineson. We were talking about the Green Knight earlier today. He plays.
Is he in that?
He's the Green Knight in heavy prosthetic makeup.
So I've seen the Green Knight ish.
I need to watch it again. I've only seen it once.
I've seen clips all combined together. I've pretty much seen the whole movie, but oh my god, that's him. I'm looking at the real actor's face. I didn't recognize him with all that makeup and stuff. I thought that dude was a robot by how his voice sounded. That gravel, like
that's all him.
Wow.
Because the United States, they're not using robots with AI with like sentience.
Well, that's what threw me a loop, and I'm like, this dude sounds like a robot. And I was betting like, oh, we're gonna find out that he's a robot, and we gotta. No, this dude just sounds like a psychopath.
Yeah.
But they get him with the 1-2 punch of, hey, your wife might be alive still.
Yeah.
You got to help us find this Alpha O weapon. It's the one that's going to kill Nomad, and we're all going to die.
Because they come to recruit him, and he's like, I'm done. Y'all, I don't care about robots. I don't care about living, really. Leave me alone. And then they flash up a hologram picture of his wife, and this was taken a couple days ago.
I loved his drive, until a certain point in the movie is, I want to see her. Never strays, never, that's always his goal. Yep. And he lets it be known. Does not hide it, nothing. And people are shocked, like, he's a traitor. And I'm like, dude said he was, that's all he's here for. What
he's
are you
like,
thinking?
The only reason he's here is to, like, try to find his wife he thought died in an explosion.
They, so they prove that, and then they, talk him into going back to New Asia because he's aware of the lab, where it should be, and he can navigate stuff.
I guess he's been to that lab before, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Just didn't know where
understands
it was.
Catacombs, but doesn't know where it is. Yeah. So we're quickly heading out. Dude, I got to quit saying dude. I sound like an idiot. There's a sequence in this movie that might be my favorite thing I've ever seen. I think it's Sturgill Simpson's character. The dude with the beard, that's the antagonist, has like a Walkman. So they're on that plane going wherever, and Radiohead pops on. It's everything in its everything in its right place. And I went, that is the most perfect use of this song. I rewound it like 5 times. I'm like, this is so sick. This is so sick.
I think that song was in a couple of trailers for this movie. So
it was, it was in the one I watched. It was there. To which I'm like, if I hear that song, I'm like, I'll give that movie a shot. If Radiohead lets it go there, then so they land, and I love this world.
Yeah,
it is awesome. Like, you've got girl in the like mech unit is going out. What's wild is I want more of this world though. Like what's wild is that they have all this cool stuff. You never get to see all the cool stuff really. And
It's
you're the
just
whole
like,
time just going, "Whoa!"
this is a thing
whoa."
that exists, and we move on. That's
I
world
think that's what
building.
makes this movie so good though. Is
Uh,
look at the stuff in the background. Isn't that crazy? Aren't you curious about it? You'll never find
yeah,
out.
we're going on to the next thing. So they make it to this huge vault, and they're like, okay, whatever this weapon is has got to be inside of there. Cops are coming up, and so it's John David Washington.
Before that, the big thing, if we understand, John David Washington's like, he's a good guy though. They get there. There's a kid with a goat, and they realize there's a village, and so they go like beating the heck out of the villagers.
Yeah.
And he goes, there, that's it, and walks over and opens it up. So like it's that. I don't want to say it's the American thing, even though I feel like there is a like.
Well, it was definitely like
military thing, you know.
it was a nod to
Vietnam, probably.
well, yeah, but like a specific scene in Apocalypse Now where a soldier holds a gun to a dog's head and was like telling the kid like, "Hey, tell me where this thing is."
I just love the quiet guy. Just sit back, don't go crazy, don't.
Because he doesn't seem outraged by what's going on, but he's not participating. So you don't really know what's going on in his head, and then he sees the little kid pointing towards a little shrine.
Yep.
While everybody else is yelling, trying to get information because they don't speak English.
Here's my problem. Like, I don't have a lot. I do have problems with this movie, but I'm going to overlook all of them because I don't care. They have those translation devices. Why didn't they listen to what the kid was saying?
I know that, but they're like in the middle of like a heated thing. So
them boys got them war boners on.
Oh, yeah. They make it into the lab. Big vault. JDW is left alone.
Yeah, because they've gotten caught.
Yes.
At this point, and they're all getting picked off like crazy.
And like hitting the last guy says, "Don't go in there without me." He's like, "Okay." It opens because they have a code breaker working on this thing. He goes in and he sees it's just a child, and pauses for like 10, 15 seconds, and thinks he sees Maya, and it's just a scientist with a gun who like puts one in his chest.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Was it a replicant of her?
No, he just thought. No, it's just old lady. Yeah, he just thought it was Maya.
Cool.
Yeah,
it threw me off. I'm like, whoa, did that lady's face change? What the heck? But
no, it's kind of like a kind of a teaser for later on, when he's in the subway.
Yeah, when
foreshadowing is what they call that.
That's a good
yeah.
Oh, you. So immediately he's like, we got to get out of here.
So he tells the little girl to run.
Escapes. Tells her to run. Nomad drops a bomb. He wakes up in that boat, and she's throwing rocks at him.
Yeah.
This is the greatest. And then whatever he does, she mimics. I'm like, this is fun. And that's when I went, that's this movie. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm on board.
It's Logan. It's
Oh yeah. It is.
Every other movie like this.
E.T.
Yeah. So they make their way to like a farm in the middle of nowhere, and they try to get a truck started, and then the farmer catches them, and I think they find one of the wounded soldiers.
Yes, they find him
in that farmhouse,
and yeah, they find him there.
Yeah,
and we also understand Alfie can control electricity or whatever at that point. Like that's when you go, oh,
device.
Okay.
So she was created to basically to jump ahead to like why she's created. She was created to shut down Nomad because she can shut down weapons, electronics, anything,
whatever.
Yeah.
So they find the other soldier, and a farmer comes and fights them. But at this time, I do love the like Okay, so the U.S. Army comes. They do this. There's this little crew of people. The girl with the mech kills them all. And it's like, oh gosh, this is a victory. Like whatever, they're not gonna have a
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird at this point. You kind of pull for you pull for the humans.
Kind
and
of.
The movie does a weird thing of really going, you're on their side. No, you're not.
Yeah. And he calls the colonel, like he gets in contact with her, and she's like, "You need to kill the weapon, leave that guy. We got to get out of this country. Like we gotta go." And then she gets abducted or taken by the police.
God, yeah, but dude, there's some rad scenes. That whole, it's so good. That like, there's no part of this movie that gets boring.
Mm-mm.
It's just like, they're in okay.
Yeah.
So he decides, I'm not going to listen to her. I'm going to go find my old commander, Drew, who's the guy that came at the beginning on the ambush.
And we get a flashback between the two of them. He was the one that gave John David Washington his mission to infiltrate this group of AI and get in close with Maya. And he says, here's a little tracking device, and it's in a ring. He's like, you need to get this on her somehow. And he says, don't go native on me, which we know from the opening of the movie that he in fact does go native.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I won't make you cut that out. I hate flashback in movies sometimes, and I feel like this movie does a great job of it, though.
Yeah.
And it's sudden. Also, this movie has acts.
Yeah, it has like acts that are labeled.
Yeah. Which that's fun. I could talk. I think my favorite part of this entire movie is their travel from there to Drew, where you just see the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of talking. They meet a family that helps them. Like, there's a lot of small things.
Yeah.
And they blur. It's just perfect. And it's just like, man, I want to watch this for the next year. Just put this on a TV and loop it in my house of, whoa.
One of my favorite probably pieces of technology in this is that little device that the colonel and that other guy have, where they find the other dead soldier, and they copy his brain and then find a simulant and upload his brain to that guy. Like, so you get like somebody's last dying thoughts for like 30 seconds or so, and it's like, oh my god, that's wild.
Bonkers of him seeing his own dead body, panicking, and then trying to figure out, like, tell my wife this, and they're like, no, tell us this, tell my family, no.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite scenes, but it's wild. So yeah, John David Washington, the little girl, make their way into a city that I can't.
They never address what it is.
They don't say, but it's in Vietnam.
It can't be Tokyo. Tokyo's on an island in Japan. So let me stop that.
Yeah. We find out that the guy they're going to look for is actually the guy that got beat up at the very beginning of the movie for being one of the government people. So we learn that he, in fact, went native and stayed behind after that mission from the beginning of the movie and made a little life here in Asia, New Asia.
Yeah. And then, but he's also really good at investigating simulants. And just John around, he's like, this is the most sophisticated thing I've ever seen. This is it. Like, she is the most powerful weapon.
Because everybody that looks at her is like, "What? Something's different."
Yeah.
And on the subway, while they're making their way, he sees people that have Maya's likeness, like simulants that have Maya's likeness. Because there's another thing about this world: people can donate their likeness to give robots like human faces, which is wild.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, dude.
Incredibly stupid, but it's just another piece of like, donate your likeness to a robot. And so he starts seeing her in different places, but it's not actually her, but it's just her face.
Yep.
And they find basically the police find, because the Asian police are looking for them too. Because I think they also want the weapon because for various reasons, because most of the police department is AI robots stuff. The two soldiers have gotten out of police custody. They've infiltrated another police thing, and they get there a little behind the cops because John David and the little girl have left the area.
Yeah, and Drew's dead at this point.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend. But you also find out that Maya is Nirmata.
Yes.
That was the bombshell of like, oh, that's her now.
She was Nirmata.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is Nirmata, was Nirmata.
But I do love that they get captured after this by the new Asia forces again.
Yep. Led by Ken Watanabe.
No, yeah. Sorry, Drew doesn't die yet. Drew helps them go to where the ring.
That's right. Yeah.
Sorry. I messed that up.
And the ring is like in the location from the beginning of the movie that's been wiped. And it was a nuclear bomb because they're wearing hazmat suits.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that completely. But guess what? Haran shows up.
Yeah.
That comment about Haran. So they get captured. They're getting taken. He's talking to Joshua or Washington, and God, it's so confusing. I'm like, do I say the actor's name or the character? I don't know.
You can do either one. I know what you're talking about.
But the worst thing is like the detonation in LA was a human error. Blamed on AI, which I'm watching that and I'm like, well, today at work, I programmed something and it probably cost a lot of money for someone that was wrong. And it was my fault. And they said, oh, it's just the computer's fault. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't. It was my fault.
But you ain't going to tell nobody that.
I did. They owned up to it. I don't know how much money that just cost me, but it's okay. It's the right thing. I can sleep better.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
But I think that's crazy. Of like they just want to live. They don't care about humanity.
Yeah,
it's where they're left alone. Like it's such a
just let us go live off in this little area, and because they don't need food, they don't need oxygen.
No, maybe need power to charge.
That's about it. Yeah, they don't need shelter.
Nope. But I think a lot of this is Nepalese-ish thoughts or like stuff from Nepal.
Yeah.
And like a lot of it is there coming up too, but like there's a lot of like those Western thoughts of like we just want to live, whatever else. But there's my chance of intelligence for the day. I'm not gonna say anything else.
There's another like we see the daily lives of all these people, but eventually American forces find out where they are and they invade this camp with like huge tanks.
Dude, all right, my favorite scene, I don't know, there's too many. This is one of my favorite scenes. The Jurassic Park, things are shaking, trees are moving.
Yeah.
And these big old tanks come in. That's not the best part. The best part is the daggone Bomb Brothers.
That's what I was about to say. Those big barrel things that say, it's a pleasure serving you, ma'am. And then it's just like this.
I didn't think it was funny, but I laughed so hard at this is wild.
Well, that's what Gareth Edwards said, like, people were laughing at it, but it's like, it's kind of a laugh to keep from like,
that thing's gonna kill himself.
That's impending doom running at you and running through you and exploding.
But at this point too, Washington's got Alfie,
and they're trying to get out of there.
But she's looking around and understanding like people are dying. I don't want that to happen. So she breaks free and stops the second bomb boy.
Yeah, that was
tight. I was like, wow, this is so good.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Sturgill Simpson comes up and shoots that girl.
Sure does.
Yeah, his music sucks.
Does he get shot in that scene?
Yeah.
I think he does get shot.
Does.
Yeah. I think John David.
He does. Joshua Taylor pops him.
Yeah.
He doesn't die. Yes. No, he dies there.
Yeah.
He dies there. The colonel doesn't.
Yeah, the colonel guy. Yeah. The colonel doesn't. No.
Yeah.
So now
that whole sequence though, at the same time, like that's when everything changes. Where I said at the beginning, like his whole drive is I want to see my wife.
Yeah.
It clicks if he wants to save that girl. That's it. picks her up and runs. And I love like all the new Asian forces understand like we can trust them. It's cool. Like
So
they
take him to somewhere in the mountains. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like an Asian word for heaven.
Heaven, yeah.
Because that's where she told Joshua to take her.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm looking for Busan, Bhutan, something. It started with a B, and I can't remember.
It's like Bannan.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and the monk robot,
robot monk.
Oh,
yeah,
Bannan. It means heaven. It's like, oh, okay,
so
got it.
They take her in there. She gets healed, and they say, and he basically knows that Maya's in there, like Nirmata Maya.
Which, there's a line in this movie that I skipped over that might be one of the most brutal, or just thought like. The robot Alfie asks him, "What's heaven?" He says, "It's a place for good people to go and they die." Essentially. Mm-hmm. And the robot says, "Well, I guess I won't be there, and neither will you, because you're not a good person, and I'm not a human."
Damn.
Oh, holy moly!
So he goes in there, and basically what's left of Maya is hooked up to machines to where I guess she can still create robots.
That's the implication.
She can still heal, repair them somehow.
Maybe that's what it was.
Because it's explained that basically this child, she formed this weapon from the dead embryo that was inside her. So that's essentially what their child would have been. So he's been carrying around his child through the whole movie.
Yeah, but the whole deal is like she wants to die, but the stimulants can't hurt her. And then that's when you understand the second motive of everything is the Alfie wants her to die.
Yeah.
And that's why she brought him. It's like, daggum, dude, this movie gets darker and darker, and I hate it.
And then the Colonel comes in and is like, I'm going to fucking kill everybody in here.
Yeah, well, Haran pops up and drops double D's on everybody, son.
That's right. He does. I kind of got distracted towards the end of this movie. So, like, he's the one that comes in and kills her.
He makes it. He gets shot, but he's not dead. He's a robot. Like, he can survive a hole.
Right.
But he plugged her with that same remote time detonation bomb.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it gets them all. But that's when Taylor understands, like, we have to get her. We have to destroy this. But he gets captured. She gets captured. Mm-hmm. And they get separated. And I was like, daggone, this sucks, dude.
And then they blow up the whole place when the great shot of the things flying away and just a big explosion in the back.
I hated it. I was like, this sucked. I hated, I understand, like, it's not an anti-American movie. It's not.
No,
but there's a lot of like, you just see U.S. Army everywhere, and it's like, daggone it, I don't. Just sucks. So they're back in L.A. and they're doing tests, doing whatever. They can't get anything to say this out. Like, we got to kill her. What? I can't remember. Like, why does Taylor have to kill her?
Well, he doesn't have to kill her. It's just
they want him. Yeah, they want him to kill her with that electro gun.
The U.S. military has her captured.
Yeah.
They want him because she's keeping them from like whatever they're trying to kill her with. She's able to shut that down. Mm-hmm. And so they just tell him to go in there with this little gun and like pop her one good time, and then she'd be good. That
got me. That whole scene got me, and I sat there and paused it, walked around the house for a minute, and I'm like, there's got to be a twist. Like, this can't make. And I try to weigh it out, and I'm like, maybe he's gonna go up to Nomad and do everything. I thought he killed that little kid, dude. I was dead set on it.
They bust out the joint.
Oh yeah, put him on standby, baby. Put him to sleep.
How did they get it? I know there was like a wreck of like one of their transport trucks or whatever.
So puts her on standby, and he asks, "Could I be a part of the service?"
That's right.
Like, it's not a ceremony, officer. It's a, he's like, I want to be there, so he's in the car with her. And then at the same time, the whatever the guy in charge is, They're like, we descrambled the video. You should hear the audio. And he tells her, like, I'm just putting you on standby. I'm not going to kill you. And he wakes her up. They climb. I mean, it's perfect. It's like that character, Washington's character, molded into a perfect scenario. If he planned all this stuff out, he's got an escape route. He's going to the Los Angeles Interplanetary Air and Spaceport to get on a lunar shuttle to the moon. Alfie does whatever she can to.
She gets it to reroute to Nomad.
Them doing passports and it not working, and her just touching the robot's head. Was the funny. I don't know. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's clever. But yeah, they're rerouted Nomad.
The little girl that plays Alfie, by the way, is great.
I'm looking on I gotta go for my notes. Okay, yeah, I looked it up as in something I wrote, but they saw 100 kids from around the world during the pandemic, audition tapes during the pandemic, and they saw her and like, we had to not cry. Everything this girl said, we just were like, this is it. And the movie did a really good job of. They pretty much filmed in sequence, so that the actor John David Washington, and it's Madeline Voiles. I don't know how to pronounce it. They did the emotional stuff at the end.
Oh yeah.
So they'd been around each other this whole time. They're used to each other.
But yeah, they got real close during the shooting, and then they did all the emotional stuff.
So that was smart.
Yeah. But they make it
that
to
whole
Nomad
sequence.
They make it onto Nomad, and she basically the plan is for her to run to the control room and shut down the whole system, and he's going to plant explosives, and then she's going to blow it from inside, I believe. That was the plan.
I couldn't figure out what their real plan was, man, because it goes off kilter so quick, so fast that I thought she was going to shut it down, but then it decides he's going to go blow it up from the outside. But she gets distracted pretty quick of finding a Nirmata simulant.
So yeah, there's a simulant on Nomad, and it looks like Maya. But either way, somehow they end up where he's putting her in an escape shuttle as Nomad's going down.
Yeah, he's run out of oxygen, and so
that's right.
In a last-ditch effort to save him, she gets him to the pressurized area so he can take his helmet off and recoup. And she gets in there, and then got again another rad machine, little tentacle guy comes up, which they take care of, but he sends her off. There's no way, it's going to be you, not me.
And Nomad explodes in the sky. People in Asia are like, yay. There's celebration on the ground, like at the end of Independence Day. And she climbs out of the
little skate potto.
Yeah, like a savior of robots. And we'll never get a sequel, and I'm fine with that.
Please don't.
Yeah.
The parallel to this is Looper.
In what way?
Sorry, the kid.
Oh, okay.
You've got a kid that's got special powers. That kid can be evil, or that kid can be good.
Yeah.
And I was afraid when the big fight scene on the bridge happens that the kid was going to go the wrong way of just kill all the humans.
Yeah.
Forget it.
But nope, she doesn't.
I think I'd give this like an 8-9, dude.
It's an 8 for me, dude. Like
I was again, I didn't know anything about it either.
This is like the second or third time I've seen it. I saw this in theaters. I actually saw this in theaters.
Sweet. I didn't even know it came in theaters. I thought it was a Hulu Direct.
No, it came out about a year ago.
Okay.
Around September of last year. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I was excited to watch it because I was like, I always wanted to watch it. So when you said, I was like, oh, I'm in, definitely.
Yeah.
But oh my god, dude, it is it's incredible. I think I want to go watch his first movie, Monsters.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back. That's definitely one that like he shot on like just like this on like a camera, and
he did all the editing on his like personal
and because he's a VFX guy.
Hans. Also, the score is awesome. Hans Zimmer did the score.
Of course he did.
Tag 'em. Yeah, but I love the idea of I'm going to use AI to make the music because it's an AI thing, and I get that. And then you get Hans Zimmer actually.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Let's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we move on to what we've been watching, playing, reading, stuff like that.
About to finish Fargo season 2.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great. Super enjoyable, man. It's fun. It's different. Still watching Curb Your Enthusiasm as well. Still gonna make you an anime boy one day. That sounds real weird. My Hero Academia is one I'm watching that's about to finish the series.
Okay.
And it's been on for a really long time, so it's like
every that's the one that's got like thousands of episodes.
It's probably got a couple. One Piece is what you're thinking about. One Piece is crazy, but this is one of those. This is one of those. People are like, "What anime should I watch?" People are like, "Watch this one."
Okay,
and it's super good, but it's about to end. So like, it's to the point now in the story where every time you watch it, it's nerve wracking of like what's about to happen. Like someone's gonna die soon. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's about it, dude. I'm just other than that, I'm chilling. Just nothing really. How about you?
I finished How I Met Your Mother recently. Great show.
Yeah. First time watching all of it. Everything before.
No, I've watched How I Met Your Mother like 10 times.
Okay. I was gonna say, what do you think about the ending? Yeah, it's a good show.
Picked up New Girl again. I was like,
you're on that Jake Johnson thing, dude.
Yeah. I picked up back in the middle of the third season.
Which that show, there's 3 guys on that show that are worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun.
I'm still reading Star Wars Bloodlines, which is about Leia in like the first 20 years of the New Galactic Republic, and she gets found out as Darth Vader's daughter, and political intrigue, stuff like that. Almost finished with Star Wars Outlaws.
Still like it?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I turned it. I was approaching the final mission when I was finishing up the other day, so I was like, "That's a good stopping point." Until next time.
I love when you're playing a game and it's about to end. And for me, like I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be like I beat Zelda earlier this year, the last one on the Switch, and it was like I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
I don't want to beat it.
For me, it's difficult because like I still have all this other stuff to do, but I feel like there's no motivation to go do that stuff now.
Nope. You see the light, and it's kind of like, oh, it's pretty bright over there.
I started the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. I've been blowing through that quick. That's a quick, breezy watch.
It is, man. You flew through it, though. You started the first season last week, right?
Yeah, but you can get through a season in a couple of hours.
And it's easy watching, dude. I love that 3rd season. Some people hate it. I dug it.
I liked it at the time. This is going to be the 2nd time I've seen it, so I'm interested to watch it again. I need
to do my next walkthrough from it.
I might watch that tonight when we're done here, or Real Steel, which I saw pop up on Hulu today.
Real Steel, that's a good one too.
But that's it for this week.
Sahara next week? Well, no, I'm off next week.
No, you're off next week.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah,
2 weeks from now will be Sahara.
Don't you be bribing nobody while I'm gone.
I'm not.
The story of Sahara. The making of. The making of.
Oh,
Sahara.
Yeah. The story behind...
That was a terrible... Yeah.
The story to get that movie made is wild. But anyway, if you have a suggestion of a movie we should do, you can send it to secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Second Take Movies. Jake, you have any final words for the people as we leave?
Treat everybody nice today.
Yeah. So,
You weren't ready for that one, were you?
Yeah, no. We'll see you in 2 weeks.